Alright, welcome back to the next video in this tutorial series for Advanced Stats Football. In this video I want to cover sort of this bottom section here. We covered the game board and timing, we covered the penalties, and now we have some of these specialty plays down here. For kickoffs, this is the kickoff for the first half, the second half, overtime, and then anytime there's a score, right, you need a kickoff. So basically you'll roll 2d10s and you'll get the number, you'll combine and get the roll result. So let's say it's a 4 and a 2, that's a 42. And if that was our roll, that would be a touchback. So about 62% of the kickoffs in the NFL go for touchbacks, so that's where we come up with that number. This is not specific to your particular kicker. We're just doing league averages. 63 to 80 is a 20-yard return. 81 to 90 is a 30-yard return, and then a 91 to 100 is sort of like the explosive plays. You just roll 2d10s and you get the yardage. So opportunity for a big play. Every kickoff, if it's not a touchback, starts at the 2-yard line. So the average depth of kick usually gets you down to the 2 or the 3-yard line in the NFL. So a 20-yard return would actually be placed at the 22, and a 30-yard return would be placed at the 32. And then if you roll here, let's say we rolled a 68, then we would take the 68 plus the 2, and that would be a 70-yard return. And so you would mark off that 70 yards, which would get you down to the I don't know, what is that, the 12 or the 22 or something like that. So you would start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you would be starting at the 28-yard line. If you caught the ball at the 2 and returned at 70 yards. So that's basically how you would do that. So that is kickoffs. Punts work very similarly. When you want to punt the ball, you roll 2d10s, and then a 1 to a 10 is, well, let me explain. This is sort of net yardage here. So there is no return, no individual return, either for kickoffs or for punts. These are kind of predetermined returns. There's no like kick yardage and then return. And this is the full return here. This is the full return here. So a 1 to a 10 is going to be 20 yards. 11 to 40 is 30. 41 to 60 is 40 yards. 61 to 80 is 45. 81 to 90 is a 50-yard kick, and then 91 to 100 is a 60-yard kick. So essentially what you're saying is this is the kick plus the return. So just because it's a 20-yard punt doesn't necessarily mean it went 20 yards. It could be a 40-yard punt with a 20-yard return. So it's kind of like thinking about the net. But you would essentially set, if I punted the ball from the 24 and it was a 20-yard punt, now I would say it would go to the 44. So that's where the opposing team takes over. So those are punts. I've written in here onside kick, and this is just sort of something I still need to add, and I'll add it to this section. But basically 1 to 87, the receiving team gets it. 88 to 100, the kicking team gets it. The percentage of getting onside kicks in the NFL is about 12 to 13%. You can obviously adjust these if you want more or less for the receiving team to have that opportunity. And then for a Hail Mary, similar, it's sort of in this or that. You can also make this more interesting if you want to, but 1 to 95 is an incompletion. 96 to 100 is going to be a touchdown. That's about the Hail Mary rate in the NFL in history. It's about 5%. And I've always played with the rule that you have to be at least 60 yards away from the end zone to do this. So I figure most NFL quarterbacks can throw the ball 60 yards to the end zone, but a lot of them are going to be able to throw from the 30, the other team's 30. So I would say if they've gotten at least to the 40-yard line, their own 40-yard line, then they'll be able to throw the Hail Mary. But you can't just throw a Hail Mary from the 2-yard line of your own end zone. So I sort of put that stipulation on them. You don't have to, but that's one of the things that I've done. So those are the special plays in Advanced Stats Football, and if there are any more, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. There are times, these are the ones that come into play whenever I'm playing, but if you can think of something else that might come into play, then just let me know and I can think about getting those into the game as well. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the defense and the defensive sheets.